What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of the debut album by Melanie Martinez called Crybaby. Now apparently a few years ago she was a contestant on The Voice, a reality singing show that I just don't ever watch, don't really care about, until about a month ago I could not have picked Miss Martinez out of a lineup. Now, a few of you guys, actually a lot of you guys, started requesting for me to cover her album Crybaby. I checked out her Dollhouse EP about a month ago in preparation to check out the full-length album, and I was very surprised with the results that I got. It's a well-crafted EP with a lot of awesome pop-leaning jams that have a cinematic feel to them that also go in-depth in kind of a lyrical discussion with some topics that you're not going to hear on your typical pop song. It's also nice to see that all of these tracks made it onto the debut full-length record, Crybaby, still playing a vital role in this album's story. That's right, we got a concept record on our hands. Don't judge this book by its cover, because I know you could look and see song titles like Mrs. Potato Head, Dollhouse, Sippy Cup, and you could just be like, I'm getting the hell out of here. I promise, this is not a children's album sung by the Kids Bop Kids. What we do get here is something very dark and very twisted at times. I kind of like to think of it like when horror movies use in like their trailer or something, they'll use these like unnerving and haunting versions of like a children's lullaby to really just build suspense for the movie and get you hyped up. I feel like that's what Melanie does with her music. She takes these seemingly innocent subjects and applies them to themes of lust, greed, abuse, and broken homes. It's a very theatrical record, and I think that might be a hurdle for some listeners to overcome. I kind of say theatrical just because there's a decent amount of songs that have a sense of bravado and technicality to them, playing out like a short film in the form of a song. The record is a trip through the life of the main character here, Crybaby, who almost seems to be an alternate persona of Martinez herself. The character is insecure, struggles to see what's important in life, and eventually gets to the point of like no longer caring, showing little love for herself or the ones in her life. I was really impressed the first time I heard the track Dollhouse. It's awfully dark for a pop song, but I think I love it for that reason. It makes Martinez stand out, awarding her with her own unique identity in the world of music, and Dollhouse kind of sees this examination of her home life, how the parents attempt to cover everything up and they want to look like this perfect family. And I know a family like this. I went to school with a family like this, and I just love seeing someone just kind of calling people out on their bullshit. It's got these in-depth lyrics kind of itching away at this scab, if you will. It's just so well written in terms of not only the lyrical content, but the music surrounding it as well. Sippy Cup is the companion track that follows immediately after that, and according to the singer, this is the song that bridges the gap between the EP and the full-length record. The production on this one is particularly sleek, with plenty of vocal manipulations and echoes to add to this song's appeal. It did feel a bit off-putting the first time I listened to it, I will admit that, but something about its off-kilter presence really made me warm up to it slowly. The opening track, Crybaby, which was written entirely by Martinez herself, is one of the catchiest moments on this record, along with the lead single, Pity Party. It's not that either of these tunes are pandering to the top 40 pop style, in fact they're still quite the antithesis. Crybaby works in a cinematic spark and a hip-hop foundation to build a truly rewarding song. It's uncomfortable to listen to in a sense, seeing someone publicly going through these struggles of handling opinions of how others see her, all while trying to convince oneself that it's everyone else that's the problem, not her. I like the spin that Martinez put on the track Pacify Her. You know, like a pacifier for like a baby to keep them quiet, except it's Pacify Her. 2 words. I probably didn't need to explain that, but just in case. She's saying pacify her as in the current girlfriend of the boy that she's got her sights set on. She's ready to take this girl down. She wants her out of the picture, and she's saying basically, shut her up. Get her out of here. Just me and you, let's focus on that. This track comes at a weird point in the album because it comes after seeing her falling in love, then kind of getting into some other stuff. We're going to talk about all of that in just a minute, but I think that this track's rolling 808s, its vocal manipulations, that they're straight out of summer 2009. Seriously, listen to some stuff from that year and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It makes for a surprisingly good pop-pop jam. I actually didn't hear the album's lead single Pity Party until listening to the whole album, but it was definitely a treat once I did get to it. It samples the always wonderful 1960s classic Leslie Gore tune, It's My Party, which is actually one of the earliest memories I have of music. My parents would play one of her records, and I remember that song in particular standing out to me, and we would always like joke around and sing with it. And I don't know, it's nice to see it brought back by a modern artist and doing it in a creative and fresh way. Let's jump to the middle of this record, where we find the protagonist falling in love and trying to stop herself from self-sabotaging a relationship before it even begins. Soap is the first track I want to point out out of 2, and it kind of sees her fumbling her thoughts, not really knowing how to say or what she wants to say to this guy, or how he's gonna take what she has to say in terms of what she's feeling. There's an absolutely bonkers instrumental on this thing, just kind of going all over the place. One of the best drops that I've heard, and one of the most creative that I've heard in a long time. I get this weird mental image of the main character sitting in a bathtub, just kind of watching the water circle down into the drain, with all of the suds kind of going down right as the beat drops, with the pops and squeals here seen as like bubbles popping in my mind's eye. Maybe I'm weird, but this song kicks ass. That's my main point that I'm trying to drive home here. Then we travel over to Training Wheels, a track that I do admit sounds good and nice on paper just to see her mixing things up, but I'm just not connecting with it. She's letting herself fall in love, elated to have found someone that actually accepts her for who she is. Martinez admits that this was a weird song for her to write, her first ever love song, even though it's anything but traditional. The pitched down vocals that pop up just sound awful and excruciating to me here, and of course the twinkling melody that just kind of runs all throughout gets on my nerves. Anyways, let's talk about some of the dark songs that come after that, the first of those being the terrifying Tag, You're It. First of all, holy shit, this is some scary subject matter that's masterfully tied together and presented to us as a pop song. Please dig into the lyrics on this one, because you'll never look at it the same way. I know it's kind of dark and twisted because it's about a sexual assault, but I think that there's something here to maybe that some people who are victims of this can relate to. It's just one of those ones that once again takes this children's theme, and it's like losing my innocence all over again. And what could be the sequel that follows immediately after, we have Milk and Cookies. Now you might be wondering, what's my interpretation of this track after reading what Martinez had to say in that interview that she did with Vice? I think she got trapped with that dude who took advantage of her in the last song, and now she's wishing he was dead so that she could be free, so she could escape. Yikes, I know it's scary, but at the same time, it's a really good tune. It's got this nice fluctuating synth line and pounding drum rhythm here that really leaves an impression on the listener. It's oddly irresistible, something I guess I could say for a lot of this album. This is going to be one of those records that you're going to need to hear a whole lot of times before you can really uncover and break down everything that it has to offer, from the opening track that struggles with self-worth, all the way to the fantastic closer Mad Hatter that sees one accepting oneself for the crazy person that they are, embracing the insanity and running with it. The themes do wear thin occasionally, you know, the whole let's relate every single thing to childhood, every single song at least to childhood in some way, shape, or form. If you subtract that from the equation though, you've got a pretty great debut full-length record that is really impressive more often than not. Crybaby, Melanie Martinez, gets a 4 out of 5 from me. So if you've heard the record in full, let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below, and of course give this video a like to let me know that you enjoyed it. If there's other albums you'd like to see me cover, let me know about them in the comment section down below. Maybe subscribe while you're at it, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribe. You can click directly below me. There's 2 links floating there to either go to my second channel or the last review that I did. And of course, other than that, I will see you very soon right here on ARTV.